What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the show. It's been a few days, so I thought I'd do some transfer wrap-up news and then get some of the guys on, man. It's good to see you all. Errol, big up. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, man, all good. Sun is shining. Liverpool making early moves in the transfer window. Can't complain too much, I'll be honest.
Oh, you can put your real accent on now.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I sat there and I went, "Oh wow, he's Scouse." I didn't expect it. You know
what you mean? You didn't expect it as if, behave. Of course, of course. Fuck off.
That's quality. I can't do
that. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it.
Hot nose for a long time. That's it.
Been together too long for me not to recognize that accent.
We can all put on,
Joe, big up, man. Big up. Listen, I know it's bad news for Leeds, but I'm clinging on to you this channel as long as I can, bro. Welcome. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm just gonna plug it right quickly. I'm doing 92 mile over the next few days for Gary Speed. In aid of men's mental health and suicide prevention. So this will be the last shot. And then I'm, walking 92 mile over the next, when I get back Saturday, start at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So, go fund me. Check it out, please. Yeah.
Big up, man. Big up, man. I'll work it in the description so everyone can do it, man. 100%. Kaz, you're back, bro. You've got your background. You're looking chilled. What are you saying?
Can't lie. Obviously, backed by popular demand. What can I say? I have to pick on somebody. Not pick on somebody, but you know what it is, yeah? Every time I come in with pots, I always find there's always somebody with a mad take. Obviously, D's not here for that. You know, claiming Elise's a 70, 80 million player. What's the ones before that? I'm pretty sure there's something. Sava, another one. I love Sava, though. I was just streaming with him earlier. But yeah, man, it's all good, man. It's a nice variety fan base with you, so yeah, man, just gonna wait for the take. I don't know which one's gonna do it, Joe or Errol, but
I guess I think I might know who it will be.
The pots don't even go there. It's not about taking that Liverpool are doing the business nice and early. That's what we're on track to do. So I'll stick on it. I'll die on that hill right now.
Listen, before we go any further, I've just stuck in the chat Joe's GoFundMe. So make sure you do that, please, people, and go and support and big up Joe for doing that. Might as well start with Liverpool, Errol. Early indoors, mate. I tell you what, though, jokes aside, what a signing that is, by the way. 45 million, they reckon. Alexis McAllister. That, for me, I don't care what anyone says, that will be remembered at the end of this window as an absolute bargain. Considering what I'm seeing, what other people are going for, and we're like, mount 80 million, go get out of here, man. All this crap that I'm seeing. And then Caicedo today saying it's going to be over 70. It might be like nearer 100 now. Rice, 120. It's like... it ain't good news for my club, man. If that's how much these players are, we ain't going to get them. So what do you make of that signing? Because for me, that's class, bruv.
I'm happy. My early feelings on it, I am happy that we're getting the deal done early doors. We're setting that precedent and I'm kind of setting a level, really, and that's the baseline. To me, I genuinely felt as if we, amongst clubs like Arsenal, Man U, this summer we're going to have our pants pulled down for the areas which we need to strengthen. I think it's glaringly obvious where some of our weaknesses are, as in terms of our starting 11s at the minute. And I genuinely felt as though when it comes to knocking on Brighton's door, they've got European football, they've got a little bit of dough, they're not in any rush, they've got these players in relatively cheap and could turn around to them and say, look, stay with us for one more year, and then you can go for the price that you want to go for. The thing that is probably the least concerning for me and probably more of a concern for you is how, again, that Liverpool can seem to find the value in the market where other clubs are going to get stung by that inflation. And whatever tax you want to call it, whether it's English tax for the likes of Rice, whether it's, you can't even really say South American tax, because my man's South American as well, even if he's got a Scottish nickname or surname. It's mad for me to see that we can get him for about 45 million plus the add-ons, whatever it takes it up to, closer to 60.
It's not. It's 38 plus 7. Do you get what I mean? That's
insane.
It's mad that, and again, like I've said it to you, we've done the race for Europe obviously all season, but coming to the back end of the season, we started talking about future pacing for the summer. And I said, as long as we get our business done early, I'll be happy. But the fact of the matter is, being able to get your shrewd business done early and for a relatively good price, like Liverpool fans we sat there 6 months ago and it was up in arms because Jude Bellingham wasn't going to come for 110, 120 mil. But when you look at it and you deep it and you think, all right, if these men have got a plan behind the scenes that they know that you're confident they can execute, who the fuck are we to judge? They've taken us to where we've wanted to be in the past. They just have to replicate that again. They've already proven it once. They've got the evidence. They've got the credit in the bank. And now they've gone again for another midfielder. We've been stung with a big marquee midfielder in Naby Keita. He didn't work for us when we paid Brewster's for him. This lad now, as you just said, Dan Potts, towards the end of this transfer window, will look as if he's one of the bargains of the summer, in my opinion anyway.
I agree with that.
He's the first of many, bro. He's the first of many. Him alone is not going to be enough, but he's the first.
Yeah, I think you will keep going, and I'll come back to you on that in a minute. But Kaz, like 45 million for this guy, and he's been killing it in the Prem, man.
Well, I'm not an ITK or nothing, but 4 weeks ago I did say it's Liverpool, Man United were in for him. Before Fabrizio decided to play out, even though he put him in April.
You heard it from you, I heard, man. Fabrizio.
Yeah. But I know there's a rumors. I know Man United were looking at him, but like for what I know, what I just got told is it's more along the lines that no, the agents were at Man United, like they were in for him, but for some reason Man United must have said nah, because Liverpool have had an easy free run at this guy, and it's like I don't think McAllister's amazing, but you put players in and around him, he's going to be amazing. Does that make sense? Like that's why you can see them linked to like Kone and Manu Kone. That's a personal favorite of mine that I wanted last year, and then obviously this Kefren Turam, bit more of a defensive midfielder, so you can see that he wants legs in and around a player that's not really an athlete, but can see a nice pass, can keep it ticking, can keep it moving, bit of a shadow. And pretty much, I would say he's pretty much a manager's type player, like a manager's dream, like sticks to the instructions. You can see that. I was talking about it yesterday on my own show, a lot of Liverpool stuff with Monts from Big Six Bands and I can't remember who else I was on with, but and the gal. But it's like this guy's come in, Jorg Schmadtke from Wolfsburg, and I know maybe McAllister wasn't his type signing, but it will still go under his belt because he's still signed for the club before he's come in. And then now they're looking at Bundesliga, where they got an abundance of athletes, abundance of PNP that I'd say is a bit lacked in the Prem in a way, and obviously some technical ability. So no, Liverpool just looking like they're going back to, I would say 2017-18 Liverpool, where the guy before Michael Edwards was in and around. I know Schmadtke's only got a short contract, but right now he's off to a peach of a start, isn't he? You know what I mean? And then he's not going to end there, right? It's not.
Sneak up nice, bro.
It's good, shrewd business, I'd say. It's very, very good. And I just don't understand how another club or two have not gone in for him whatsoever. I thought Man City might have been all over this signing, but they opted for Kovacic instead.
Yeah, I was on with Saeed yesterday and with Lewis, and Lewis obviously a City fan, and he's like, I don't know why we haven't gone in for him, man. I like him a lot. Like I would have paid more than that as well. He said, I think he's worth more than that. He's mad. If you look at the market at the moment, it's crazy. But I must say, Joe, like I think when you look back at this one, I'll be surprised as to why people won't be looking at this and saying this is one of the signings of the summer. Like I don't know what's going to happen in the long run. We might see unbelievable signings from now. Could be see shocks, could be see cheap bargains as well. But this one for me, I think this is quality for Liverpool, man.
Yeah, it's really surprising for me as well for how little he's gone for. Was it like a release clause that was set in? Is that what it is? Or
I don't even know. I don't know. I don't think it is a release clause. I think it was an agreement that they made between two clubs. Because for me, it's mad. Caicedo, they're saying now, is like the one that's going to be mad. So why was McAllister not near to 78 as well? Like it's mad, isn't it?
That's the mad thing, because I know, like, I've seen over the last few days, like, Brighton.
Tell a lie. He did have. He had a release clause between 45 and 55 M's.
There we go.
Right. Okay. So because
come to that agreement.
Because like, and that's more to Cass's point as well. Like, why are other clubs triggering that release clause? Do you know what I mean? And it's almost the pull of Liverpool, really, and the pull of Jurgen Klopp. It's got to be for me, because they're not even in the Champions League either. You know what I mean? So if Man United did come a knocking and hit that release clause, was it a case of they just said, do you know what, he's already gone to Liverpool, there's no point even entering the race, which is a bit of a mad one. But just on Brighton as well, it seems crazy that they have allowed him to have a release clause so little, because I know from when we had Ben White and we pushed and they said, no, you're not getting him. We wanted, to pay 30 million. They weren't having it. The following season, he goes for 50. That's why when Arsenal were moving for Caicedo in January, I just knew as a fan, having had my club deal with Brighton, that deal was never going to happen because they would have said, no, give us till the summer and then we'll be able to sell you for even more. And there'll be even more in for you. So it is surprising he's gone for so little, to be honest. And like I said, it's almost been like a free run for Liverpool. But yeah, he will be fantastic signing, fantastic player, World Cup winner. You know what I mean?
Brian's already replaced him. Brian already replaced him. Mahmoud Dahoud from Borussia Dortmund on a free.
So this
is
the thing, right?
Brighton did 3 deals before even the transfer windows. They've got Milner,
Crazy.
Dawood,
I was just going to say this,
Pedro from Watford before the transfer window's already done. They're in the door.
So they are. I mean, we excuse the cringiness. They are a bright club, Brighton. I tell you, they are, man. Their recruitment is spot on. And I was speaking to Lawless about this earlier, and he was saying, "They're just to be Southampton, and soon they'll go down. They won't be able to keep doing this forever. The well will become dry." But actually, it's not even about Southampton. It was like an academy on top of some of their good, smart business. Brighton's, they're not got pulling these kids from academies. They're going and scouting them for like £3, £4, £5 million and selling them for amazing amount.
Clearly, not just in England. They got scouts somewhere, and they might take a few other people's you might look at a player like Man United. I've got a feeling Man United were looking at Caicedo that time for $5 million, and then Brighton must have saw that and said, "Wait, let's send some of our scouts over there and see what we can do. See if we like the kid." And then clearly, look where he is now, man. You're talking about an £8 million player. It's crazy.
They still got him for €8 million as well.
Crazy, £5 million.
€8 million, to have him in their squad anyway. How much was Caicedo? Was Caicedo like nearly 2.5 mil, something like that?
$5 million.
It's 5. I think it was 4 or 5. Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, it was cheap for what they got. So there's 2 midfielders. All right, so rounded up, between £15 million between the 2 midfielders that they've got there, and now they're going to make potentially 100 at least on them. Caicedo, will someone get him for 60 mil this summer? I don't know.
More than that.
I think he's been promised a move, and now we're seeing like Levi Colwill, like they're preparing some sort of 30 million, basically the McAllister money for Levi Colwill, and I wonder if that's going to have any effect of Caicedo maybe going the other way.
That's my biggest worry, because obviously I want Caicedo. That's my biggest worry, is that Chelsea have got more. So this is what I mean. When
Chelsea are out here offering to buy parts of football clubs in order to get deals over the line, mate. They're no holds barred, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Chelsea are mad.
They're
like
mad.
This Bowley guy is absolutely mental. But
then again,
I said this right, because
Caicedo's going to have no Champions League if he goes to Chelsea, though.
But the thing is, Errol, I said this right, and I said this, and everybody kept coming at me for years and years. Arsenal haven't got Champions League football. Arsenal was screwed. They ain't got Champions League football. They can't attract the players. Look at the players we signed without Champions. You think Thomas Partey come here to play Thursday night football? He came here because it's Arsenal, right? He came here because of the pulling power of Arsenal. Chelsea have got that. So just because they're out of the Champions League, no one's going to look at Chelsea and go, no, thank you. I don't fancy a season out of Europe. They're going to go there because they're going to get 400k a week. They're going to be seeing everybody around them being spent money around them. And within 2 transfer windows, they're going to have a wicked side because they're just going to spend their way to the top. Now, of course, it ain't about spend money, then you'll just be guaranteed titles. I get that. But they'll see Pochettino coming in there now. They'll see him getting backed. And Chelsea could be starting to do that. So I don't think Caicedo will look at Chelsea and go, no, thank you. Scrub my hands at that. I do think he'd be tempted by Arsenal. And there's a lot of rumours that there was some form of agreement in January. Now, you're not coming to you in January. You can have him in the summer. But I fail to see us bidding for this guy at the moment. So is he going to come to Arsenal? Is this going to be another Mudryk? That's my biggest worry and concern. Like, where is he actually going to go? So I wanted to get your boys' opinions on the Caicedo thing, man. And like, where do you actually, as neutrals, do you think he could go Chelsea and go for the money, or do you think he'll be at Arsenal going for the footballing reasons?
Just before you jump on that, the one thing that I would have personally said as well, Liverpool have definitely asked the question about both of those midfielders in Brighton. And the only thing that would have turned us away would have been the price tag for Caicedo. If we've got others lined up, as Kaz was saying there, Kone, the likes of Thuram.
Yeah. Apparently, mate, you have as well. I think.
Apparently, but I'm saying if you can sit there and we can justify, we could get 3 for the price that we're going to get Caicedo and another 1. I see why we went the McAllister route. The question is, you're saying now for Caicedo is, where does he end up? Because whoever has to fork up for him, they're not going to get him for that 45 mil mark that we just got McAllister. You're going to have to pay the toll if you want the player. You're going to have to pay for him.
Yeah, big time, man, big time. Kaz, what do you see happening with this Caicedo thing, man?
Once the Mason Mount deal collapses, when Chelsea don't get the figure that they want, I think he's on Man United's next. There's the next option, and I can see us going in for. That's exactly what I believe Man United need. A guy that's defensively astute, a guy that is press resistant, and keep the ball ticking. That's what we really need right now as a current first team midfielder. You put him next to Casemiro, mate. I'm gonna be honest. You're gonna struggle to get past that back line, especially if Kim Min-jae is rumored to come in as well. So that would be kind of colossus. Like one can kind of dream at the moment. But if you're gonna spend 70 million on Mount when Caicedo's there for roughly the same price, Caicedo's also a Man United fan. Not that it really means much. Wages will be there available, way ahead of what he's currently earning. Like maybe I see him, maybe Man United going for him. But it's again, I think it's another part of Man United is how much budget is available, and second of all, who's your owners? How much budget is really allocated, and have you got anyone going the other way? Because if you're prepared to spend 80 to 100 million on Kane, which is not going to happen, you're not getting him whatsoever. Then clearly you have got some money there to fork out for a Caicedo, and you can still go get Rasmus Højlund for 40 million at the very least. That's the way I look at it. It could be good business, I'd say. I think it'd be definitely worth it.
Is it dependent on your ownership situation, though, Kaz? Because from what I've been hearing as well, you've only got about 100 mil to splash. If your situation stays as is, it's only 100 mil.
The way I look at it, I think Man United will always have about 200 million to spend. I would say so, because you can't quote Kane. You can't quote Mason Mount and still want a striker. You can't, again, quote and get 52 million in the release clause in Kim Min-jae, and I'm pretty sure they want a lot of their money up front, Napoli, because they're type passes like that. And then looking at a possible keeper, I think there's some budget there. If you're telling me on average, I would say Man United's got about 150 plus. I think they're gonna have to rely on some outgoings, regardless if Qatar come in or not. So the way
this is the thing. All three of us.
Harry Maguire, Tottenham, 40 million. That's the quote. That's what Athletic said. It's 40 million valuation on there.
That's
I would say probably 55 million. Scott McTominay, Lawless, whether you like it or not, or Newcastle, he's heavily linked with both clubs. Fred might be going to what's his name? Fulham potentially. I'm pretty sure I have more suitors. And then you got to look at little off-goings. Alanga's been quoted to go offshore somewhere else. And then obviously Brandon Williams, I'm not really going to cost a lot. Tellez, you can rack up at least 10, 15 million out of all three of those players. So it's crazy. If Man United can make some decent sales, then the market's yours. You don't need a lot. Man United do need a lot, but not as much as people think.
If Tottenham signed Maguire, they might as well just have got Gareth Southgate with Maguire and Dyer at the back, innit?
Maguire, innit?
Jeez, that's unbelievable. But you make a good point though, Kaz, because Joe, I'll come to you with this because obviously you're neutral with it. Like Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, they can talk about who they want to bring in all they want, but they've got to look at the player sales. Mm-hmm. Kaz has just said it there about who they're going to sell. I didn't know there was that many players that are outgoing of that fair cost, to be fair. We're a bit like that. We ain't got many that are going to be like 30, 40 million. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot that are going to be like 5 million, 10 million here and there. So I think you've got to make room for the squad as well and obviously have the money there. But some of these players are going for big money and there ain't enough players per club. There's about 9 clubs for about 4 players. So there's a lot of clubs that are going to be disappointed. So I've just said, you think Caicedo will go Arsenal or Chelsea? Kaz said the answer is United. So there's another club that want him. So this is the problem. We've got a lot of clubs that want the same players here. Declan Rice, another player that I'm sure City, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, even Liverpool, if they would be interested in getting him.
100%. He's 100% sure Declan Rice is signing for Arsenal.
Is he? How does he know that? Who's told him that then?
I don't know, but he said he's 100% sure. And to be fair, he said a while ago as well, and I think I knew a while ago as well. To be fair,
I was told.
I said to you just in January, Potts. It was
Errol said in January. There's somebody else that Errol knows told me just before January. That's how me and Errol both found out at the same time. So I'm like,
you won't get them both though. That's the thing, isn't it? I watch a lot of content. I don't think they'll get. I think
both. They can. Hear me out.
I think we can, but I don't think we will.
Hear me out. So this is my neutral perspective in it, Joe. Yeah, we know that Arsenal have between 200 and 250 million to really go for it. Yeah, and they still got some outgoings to potentially there could be Thomas Partey going. There could be Emil Smith-Rowe potentially going. We're talking a load of all these other players that you can definitely chip and get some money out of. Rice is going to cost about 90 million. I'm going to say 85, 90 million will get a deal done for if that's the case. If Caicedo is around 75 million that you can go get him for, you realistically think that's 170 million. How much do Arsenal actually need? I think their attacking lineup's fine.
They need centre-back. They need another centre-back for sure.
But they're already linked
with Saka as well, to be fair.
They don't need big boy players. Their back line is actually good. Really and truly, they need to focus on maybe getting some midfielders and then...
You need to keep hold of Saliba.
But yeah,
I've been
I don't
told
know.
I've been told he's going to sign. That's what
Yeah.
I've been told, but I don't want to start saying that's going to happen.
Who's
Don't quote
Saka?
me in.
Nah,
No,
Saliba.
Saliba. Saka's
Oh,
already
Saliba.
signed.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
say.
But yeah, no, yeah. Go on, Joe. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just don't see a world where Arsenal spend that much cash. I just don't see it. Listen, of course, second pushing, and I've heard.
Do you feel like,
Ars-
sorry, Judge Button, do you feel like
Go on.
that's what we need to compete with City? If we're going to, let's just say, for example, right, we're linked with Rice, Caicedo, Gehi, and Madison. Let's just say those four names, right? Because they've all been linked with Arsenal, either heavily or rumored to be. If we got Rice and Gehi, is that enough to compete with Man City? Not for me.
Yeah, but how many clubs can compete with Man City though? Like we can.
And
I'm not too sure
I get that, but
if it's there. And the mad thing is just on City as well. Like I get they've spent a lot of money, but it's how they've spent it, and you look at the player sales and the players they brought in, the likes, you know, even I know Calvin. Obviously, I'm always going to give flowers to Calvin. He's still got. I just see him coming good next year, like Grealish did. That's what I'm holding on to. But now of course, they had to spend to get up to a point. But now
there's your shout.
What's that? All right, that's not a bold claim.
Next season.
Errol was laughing the whole way through. You weren't looking at us.
No, but what I'm saying.
Sorry,
No, but what I'm saying is that I do think he will come good. But yeah,
look, I actually rate him. I just think his injuries has let him down. But go on.
City are far away and above anybody else in this league. So it's pointless even trying to compare with that or trying to get to that level. Are you going to get there in one window? No,
so
I'm with Errol. You've got to try to. That's what I mean.
The only hope you've got is when Pep moves on. That's it.
And I agree with that, Joe. I'm with
you. I'm not here for that.
No, he is true. It is right, though, Errol. It is right.
No, it's a harsh truth, but I'm still not here for it. People have still got to put teams out that can put up a fight. Man, they're their biggest neighbours, their biggest rivals. They can't just be irrelevant for
I've got a solution.
Say that again.
I've got a solution.
Oh yeah, no, well that's fine, but you can't.
There's no we. There's no I. There's a we in this solution. Basically, I said this is perfect. Yeah, this is. Sorry, go on, say so. Sorry,
I was going to say to Dan was literally. I can't see you being irrelevant for 15 odd years. I can't see you going to be irrelevant, so to speak, Arsenal for another 5, going on to 25 years.
They've been doing it for 20 years.
You've already been doing it for 20, but you sit there and say,
enough of that, bro.
You sit there and say, Dan, can we compete with Man City? What are you? Those 4 players that you just mentioned, they're good enough to have you competing. Forget City just for the league. What else? There's the FA Cup. There's the League Cup. There's the Champions League. Those players are good enough to make you go on runs for all. Not saying you have to go on fight for all 4 trophies, but you can't just be tunnel vision on the Prem and hope and dash away the others. Like that can't be the mentality next year, even if you do get those bodies in that you just mentioned.
Like what is for me, right, is, sorry, Kaz, let me just say this very quick. What is for me is the reasons that people were saying Arsenal dropped off was because of the squad depth. So we can't go into another summer window being short. We just can't do that, because then we're just giving up. So like Joe says, you can't compete with Man City. I actually agree, but I don't want Arsenal Football Club to go, we can't compete with them, so we'll just get a couple of players.
It's defeatist mentality.
Go for it, man. Yeah, it's defeatist.
This is what we should do. Yeah, no joking.
Gets you relegated. You see that defeat.
And thinking Sam Allardyce is going to keep drop, even though. I just think this is what we should do. Just go to the Etihad. Every single top team, top 6, just park the bus as soon as just frustrate them, take the points out of the Etihad, and then when it comes to your own ground, it's anyone's game. That's just got to be. Look, they're Thanos, and we just got to come together as Avengers and be like, not this time around. Sorry, mate. Just go do it, man. And then you know what? You know, it's again, man. It's anyone else is. Just frustrate them. Anyone else play against each other. Don't care how you do it. It's them lot. We can't have them winning 4 titles in the back. That will make me feel ill.
The thing is with Pep,
did I not say that in the last show? Did I not say that on the last? Almost word for word. Almost word for word, bro.
Literally.
He's going out though and buying players like Akanji, Julian Alvarez. Anyone could have had. You know what I mean? Really, but no one really seen had eyes on him, if you like. Do you know what I mean? And then he's buying a
Who didn't?
Kanji, who was what, 15 million? Was he a Kanji
Alvarez.
there or
That was
thereabouts?
unbelievable signing,
Yeah.
anyway.
See, Alvarez, that was Man United. We was meant to sign him for 15 million, and we said no. Our board said no.
Yeah, that's
We
bad.
also said no to Haaland as well. Ollie put him on the bus.
I loved that. Ollie was like, I said sign this guy for 5 million and no one did.
Crazy, isn't it? It's just
It is mad.
mental.
It is mad.
Oh.
But listen, Kaz, let's come to you because Manchester United.
Joe made a good point there, though, dead quick.
Go on, then.
That's because Man City have got football and people doing the football and business in the club. And say what you want about the last season that you have just had, Potts, but Arsenal, you have suffered from not having the right football and people for many a season now. Man U, you are still suffering the aftermath of not having the right football and people around. That's one of the areas where we've let ourselves down because our football and people off the pitch up until last season they've been on job. Whatever happened in the last 12 to 18 months, that's where our wheels have fell off, and we need to get back to that point. But Joe made an excellent point there. Man City, it doesn't matter whether they spend the splashing 15 mil or the 100 mil, they're getting the right people in to do the job that Pep requires of them.
I think Liverpool could do that again, though, in the summer. Like, I honestly believe, like, Liverpool, people are saying that they've got a long way to go. I disagree. I actually disagree. McAllister's a good start. If this Kone and this Thuram brother are coming in as well, a centre back away, and I think you're pretty much there.
That's why I can't be salty on City. It's just because, like, look, you could say, yeah, but they cheat, but we don't know that. And we could say, yeah, but they did it, but we don't know that. At the end of the day, it all comes down to jealousy. We all wish we had the best infrastructure. We all wish we had the best academy. We all wish that we had owners that would do things the way they do. We all wish we had a Pep. We all wish they done business the way they did. It's as simple as that. And it's just why I just don't be salty on it no more, because you just look like a hater. And I can't be bothered looking like a hater. Like that's the way it is, man. The only one I would look like a hater towards is Liverpool every single time of the year, because I just don't care about them like that. But it's just that's just the way I look at it.
Rent free, baby. Rent free rents. The real estate is real, baby.
It's got to the point now. It's like they've done it for years and years out, and you're like, they're doing things right. I just wish my club would do things like that.
Yeah,
do you know what though? Kaz is on the money, because the amount of stick City and Chelsea got oil money, etc. And then of course when the Qataris were coming in from Man United, they were all going mental for it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So regardless,
it's the only way, innit? It's the only way to compete now. And people will say, "Do you want to win it the right way?" Of course I do. Of course I want to win it the right way, whatever the hell that means nowadays in football, modern day football. But sometimes if you've got to compete, and if you want to compete, you're going to have to try and do things. And that's why I say, Joe, that 300 million that Kaz was saying Arsenal have got potentially realistically to spend, I want to see it spent. Otherwise, what's the bloody point? The aim should be, right? My expectation is not to win the league, but my aim should be to win it. Right, that should be the aim for Arsenal Football Club, to win the league. So that means that your ambition of your ownership, your board, and your manager should be, I'm going to put Arsenal Football Club this summer in the best position come August that they can win that league. And whether that means we've got to spend 100 million, 200 million, or 300 million, whatever it be, we've got to have to do it. And that's what I want to be seeing. So when they've got links with Maddison and Guehi and bloody Cancelo and all these players, I'm thinking, what? Really? That can't happen. Caicedo, Rice, go do it. Go and do it, because otherwise it ain't going to happen.
But see, I don't see Arsenal spending nowhere close to that. I genuinely don't. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans will be disappointed. Was it last season that they gave Eddie Nketiah a new deal? Like, what are we doing with that now? Are we going to go out and Are we going to go out and buy another striker and say to Eddie, oh, you know, that long-term deal you signed, yeah, we're just going to bin you off now? I just don't see it. I think Edu and Arteta are a little bit more methodical. That's why I don't see them going out. And it will upset. I've seen Arsenal. I want to spend 250 million plus them, plus that. And I just don't see it happening. Manchester United would have behaved like that in seasons gone by because they're just mental the way they spend the money at times. But for me, I think Arsenal, Edu and Arteta are a little bit more thought out.
What do you expect then, Joe? What are you thinking will happen with us?
I think you'll get Rice. I think you'll get Rice. I do think you'll get Rice, and I think that'd be a fantastic signing. Someone at centre back. I don't know what needs to happen at right back because he's Tomiyasu. What's happening there? Do you need to
injury?
Bring in? Yeah, exactly. Someone to cover Ben White. I see that happening, mate, and because. What do you think? Do you think you're going to go out and go get someone who's going to score you 20, 30 goals?
No, and this is the thing. For me, mate, it's not about what I think will happen and what we need to happen. are two different conversations. And I'm talking about what we need to happen. You're talking about what you think will happen. And I'm with you. I don't ever see these cronkies spending more than what they have. They spent a hell of a lot of money over a period of time, but they've never gone, boom, 400 million. There you go. They've spent a hell of a lot of money in 15 years. But look at what we've spent it on, man, in the past. Yeah, Arteta and Edu deserve a lot of criticism, but they also deserve a lot of praise. They've got 7 or 8 signings right. They've got 7 or 8 very wrong still that we've had to now try and get rid of again already.
Gary Campbell said, sorry, Joe, go on.
Mate. No, I'm just saying, right? Look at last summer when you bought Ramsdale and Ben White. You were mocked. And I bet, I bet before the season, people are going, "Oh, we need to go spend 250 million all this." That's why I say that they're a little bit, Arsenal fans might tell me different in the chat, and that's totally fine. But I'll be right and you'll be wrong, so we'll see, won't we? But the facts are they're a little bit more drawn, a little bit more thought out, and I think they'll go that way again. They will spend big on Rice, and so they should, but I don't see them going insane.
How much do you reckon?
You got
Rice.
I think he'll go for close to 100. I really do.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Liverpool got for the same thing. Ramsdale relegation fodder. He got him for how much? 40 million, was it?
25 million or something like that.
I remember when Robertson and Wijnaldum bought relegation fodder. Remember that? Now no one's laughing at. They weren't laughing at them when they were collecting that Champions League medal.
Yeah, Ramsdale, White, Tomiyasu. And to be fair, right, this is what's mad, and we'll talk about this in a minute. Erdegaard was sold to us for 30 million. And they're about to sign Kai Havertz for between 60 and 70. That make sense. Make sense.
As the deal I think the deal's fallen through.
Yeah, I've seen
it's just fallen through, has it? Well, I'm surprised because that is for me mad.
You know what? That tells me everything you need to know about Chelsea Football Club. They wanted to hassle around 52 million to recuperate as much money as they could for 75 million pounds. Now that just makes me feel that that's 100% going to happen as well with Mason Mount. Now we're not going to give them 60, 65. I can't see it. Not this day and age.
Do you want him, Kaz?
No. The thing is, if you said Mason Mount 45 million and you're going to go get a proper midfielder and like a Caicedo as well, I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll take it. I think he'd be a good squad player. I think he'd be very useful. But when you're hearing you're Man United looking at a goalkeeper, a centre back, a centre mid, and a striker, your spine basically, and you're thinking, what you think? One centre mid, four players, and you think Mason Mount's going to be the first guy to come through your door. Like, honestly, I'd rather be depressed again. I'll be honest.
Yeah. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like, aren't him and Bruno going to be pretty much like 1 week in, 1 week out? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't see them both being able to start in that same team as each other. Because
I think that's a weird position to go for me. If I'm a United fan, you got Eriksen and Bruno there. I think you need to be looking at, like you said, Caicedo, Rice type next to Casemiro.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm just looking at the Kai Havertz stuff now. Chelsea hope
fake news. They're all saying it's
saying Chelsea hope to more clubs to join the race the next days after Real Madrid interest registered last week. So it's only registered interest from them. Nothing more.
I know it sounds mad, but if we wouldn't have signed Gakpo and Chelsea wouldn't have wanted an absurd amount of money for Havertz, I would have still taken him. Me.
Yeah,
rate him, Errol.
I think Klopp gets a tune out of him, and I reckon his link-up play and all you're expecting is Salah to be on the end of it.
I don't even know what position he is, Errol.
We'd make him the next Bobby. We would have made him the next Bobby.
Who's that?
Oh, come on, Errol. Come on, bro.
Kai Havertz.
Bobby Firmino is miles better than him.
You know what the difference? The difference between Bobby and Kai Havertz. Bobby has more tech, and he's back to goals very good. And the difference is his application is different. Kai Havertz's application. If you look at Kai Havertz's application to the game in general, there's a reason why fans don't like him a lot, and that's the reason why I don't fancy him either. Game's too strong for him. And I see what Edgar's saying. Stop trying to sign players for him. Who manages his team? That's just a stupid argument, Edgar. I'll be honest. It's just like just because you can back the manager and his sign. If he wants him, I'll back it until it looks crap. But it doesn't mean I have to agree with it.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
You might as well turn it off. That I get that all the time, man.
The manager might have a plan, but you know what? The manager might have a plan, but the club might not execute it, and then you're left with what the club's given you. You get it? And it's just like, well, you should have went for that player in the first place. Should have got what we needed first before. It's clear as day what Man United need, and it's clear to see that.
Well, let's come to my question on that, right? Because the clear one, Benzema's gone, right? He's gone today, apparently, to Saudi Arabia, right? So
Mm.
they need a striker. Manchester United clearly need a striker. So Harry Kane is the one that both teams want. Manchester United, for me,
Okay.
should be looking at going for a striker instead of Mount. I mean, that's mad for me.
We are. So
Kane, what's going to happen there, man?
I think Kane and I saw something from, I can't remember his name, his actual name. It sounds like Jay Felix. He just works with Spanish sources. I can imagine there's a Spanish source that's in and around Real Madrid that literally put post news. Apparently, they've been doing Operation Kane for the last 10 days. I can kind of believe that. I can imagine that the Benzema thing is no new news to Real Madrid. They'd have made plans for it. I'm guessing this has been going on for a little while, to be fair, because it was so sudden. And I can guarantee that they will probably be making an offer for Kane, and he'll probably end up going for like 90 million or 80 million in the end, if that's the case. He won't come to Man United. There's no way to deal with Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy and Man United. It's Daniel Levy we're talking about. Now he's saying that he wants 200 million, which is probably bullshit, but I wouldn't say no to it. 120 million, it's not happening. Man United can't afford that. Kane, people say Kane won't leave England because he's got a newborn baby and he's looking at the goal record. I'm sorry, when Real Madrid come calling, you check that changes your mind.
I agree. That's the one team, innit?
How many players have had newborn babies and new wives and all that stuff, and they end up moving anyways? It's nothing new. For the sunny Spains of Madrid or the rainy England, it's different. You're looking at towards the end of your career. Trophies is probably what's on his mind more than anything else. Not an Alan Shearer record that you can possibly beat. What you're going to be known more for, really. And at the end of the day, you can go down as one of the greats at Real Madrid if you give them a great 4 or 5 years. You never know. But for me, it's just like if he doesn't move, if Real Madrid do come, that tells me everything you need to know about the mentality of Kane. And that makes me even more put off about him. Man United are looking towards Rasmus Højlund from Atalanta, a young player.
Good player.
It's a gamble. Don't get me wrong, but if you don't take the gamble, then you end up we will have the same conversation next year talking about with Julian Alvarez, who was looking at him. Caicedo, you could have got him for 5-10 million. And it's like, well, next year he's going to cost 80 million. Who are you going to go get? You're going to go get me someone like from Bayern Munich who's available, Choupo-Moting or something like that, because he's available and he's fits the profile. I don't want to hear none of that.
Bring Gallo back. Get
Gallo would have done more than Wout Weghorst this season. That's the actual truth of it. It's just like, I don't know what's going to happen. I got a feeling Rashford's going to end up top. They're going to use Sancho and Garnacho off the left for the season, and they're going to use a young striker like Højlund that can fill in the gaps. And then Amad Diallo somehow fits in around Anthony on the right-hand side. That's the way I look at it.
Do you know on the Harry Kane stuff, and I've said this and I stand by it, I think if Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United, he'd have signed Kane years ago. He'd have gone straight in there and took him. I think he's perfect fit for Manchester United. I think they should throw all their eggs in the basket. I was listening to the radio the other day, and a lot of them were coming on. I don't know where you stand on it, Kaz, but a lot of Man United fans were saying we don't want him. He's this, he's that. But he comes in and guarantees you 25, 30 goals a season, which would be enough to propel Man United. Look what Robin Van Persie did in that 1-2
This is why I want Evan Ferguson. That's why I look at Evan Ferguson thinking, if you're going to go splash some money, go for that guy, please. Because he just reminds me of everything you need to know of. And then with Højlund, it's a gamble, but I think he's got something about him that could be great. And then dare I say, a certain somebody's included in pre-season.
Is he actually?
He's going, yeah. He's not. If he was going to go, trust me, it'd have been done by now. It would have been done time ago. The PR's already coming. The PR's already coming out. Have you not seen the soft PR yet? It just says it's just all coming. Look, fans are fickle. Fans will forget. Chants will keep going on, and it always will be a chant. See this stuff? It score a few goals. Everyone forgets. It's like, and then a new breed comes. It's the same cycle. It's the same way you play what players have committed in the past as well in the last 10, 15 years. Alonso, Robin Van Persie's case. It's always the same thing. And that's the way it is, man. And I personally disagree with it because it gets me annoyed and hot because I wouldn't have that in and around because I know people that have been through that stuff like that. And the way I look at it is like, you might want him back because of his ability, but if that was Scott McTominay, guarantee you don't want him back. Guarantee you'll be all over that saying
Great point.
I watched you on a Saeed stream actually about this, and I remember going, yes, because there was someone on that stream who was trying to say, but we need a goal scorer, and I was like, what? Like, what do you want to?
Last show, someone tried to compare it from. So I did go off on him, and it might have been a bit disapproval of Saeed and all that kind of stuff, but he tried to compare Wayne Rooney's case, then try to say I bet I'm a supporter of Ryan Giggs. and then try compare what Wayne Rooney's cheating did to Mason Greenwood's what he did, and take what you wish of it. I heard what I heard in it, and obviously that's just another scandal. But that's part of transfer rumors and what the squad could be for Man United next season, whether we like it or not. It's coming closer than people think. Pre-season's only a month away.
Errol, do you think Kane will stay at Tottenham?
If he had any sense, he'd be going. Honest to God, mate, if he had any sense, he'd be going. I think this, especially, and I said to you the other week, the numbers that he put up this season alone was him putting himself in the window. Man City, yeah, you went and got Haaland, but look how many goals I got in this shitty Spurs team. Man U, you need someone to score you 25, 30 goals a season. Look what I've just done in this shitty Spurs team. It was the biggest calling card to all the top hitters in Europe to basically say, I've still got it. This is what I can do. And if you need me up top, I will bag for you until from day the season starts to the day the season ends, because that's what he's made of. And if you need someone to elevate you and take you to that next level, he is the perfect person to do that. He's already tried to do it in the Wayne Rooney way, in the Van Persie way, in talking about, I need to go, I need to leave, I need to do X, Y, or Z for my career. He's already tried to be that. He went on the golf course, he fucking sat round, did 9 holes with Neville, and thought, yeah, that'll be enough to get me out the door, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
So what else can you do? Put your money where your mouth is. And if I'm telling you, I'm £100 million player. Why? Because I score 30 goals a season. Who else does that? Other £100 million players. So pay the dough and come and get me. That's what he did this season. He let his football do the talk, and I respect it, because you've seen it before, Dan. You've had Aubameyang. I've seen it a lot in Salah, so I won't even use Aubameyang as the example. Salah putting mad numbers, then held us to ransom. We spent so much of our time last summer, and it does take more than 1 or 2 people to make these intricate deals happen and come together. We put a couple man on the Salah job to make sure he signed a deal. That made the rest of the team take the eye off the ball. All other transfers suffered as a result because we was overly focused and overly complicating on one deal all summer. But we got our man. His numbers fell off. But before his numbers fell off, you couldn't argue that he wasn't a £100 million player and that he deserved to get the contract that he ended up getting. So players do that. They put the effort in because they know that what their worth is, and there are very few ways that you can express it to a club. You can do the petulant Coutinho. I've got a bad back. I can't play. I've got a bad back. I need to go and rest up in Barcelona and get a massage from somebody. Or you can do the as I said, the Robin van Persie. You can do the Rooneys. You can sit there in front of a PR and camera and plead your case to get yourself out of the club. Or you can let your football do the talking, and you can go with the blessing of the club as long as you get the price that the club are after. And I think that's the move that he's played this season. He's waited the long game, and he's only got a year left. So it's now or never for Levy to cash in. You're not, especially with the Spurs team and the money that they're going to need to reinvest for this new manager that they've got, bro. To me, it makes sense that this is the moment for him to jump ships. He's been a servant, but he's not going to get many more opportunities to leave and go on to win things. Because if he doesn't go this summer, it's the last thing I'll say, Man U will get their striker for a long-term solution. Yeah. He's gone. Yeah. Real Madrid will also get theirs. So he's taken 2 clubs out. If he doesn't move this summer, he's lost 2 clubs. City will still have a Haaland come next year if Pep stays. There are not many spots or places, even as a free, he can go.
You'll have to come and do a Sol Campbell. I think come and do a Sol Campbell and come play for us.
This is a point I was going to say to you. Someone said, I think it might have been Joe before, saying about if I was still around Man U, he would have got him a long time ago. Bro, I think if Arsenal was still the Arsenal that they used to be back in the day, they would have got him a long time ago as well. You have needed a quality striker for a while. Bro, you're trying to tell me that you wouldn't have just snapped up Harry Kane if he's out.
Everyone would have. Yeah.
Everyone would have, Joe. I mean, we would have never been in for a player like that. I don't think we've got that. Sometimes when it comes to English strikers, we don't really do well with English strikers typically. I haven't seen, apart from Sturridge, but again, his body let him down more than anything else. But I genuinely think, that's my thoughts. If it come ask me, he's got to go this season.
Mm-hmm. Fair play, man. Fair play. I've got a couple of super chats I want to do and a couple of comments I want to do as well. But before I do that, I want to ask you, we'll start with you, Joe. This Ange Postecoglou signing from Spurs. Some positives and negatives. I think there's a lot of negatives that outweigh the positives, of course, like him going over at Scotland and coming in, not really being proven, etc. But some of the positives I hear good things about him. Everywhere he's gone, he's implemented a style of play which is attractive, which is something Tottenham will want after coming off the back of Conte and Mourinho. But I don't know, that's a big job for him, man. So I wanted to ask you what your thoughts are of that. More importantly, if Tottenham keep Kane, what's the expectations? And if they sell him, what are they best hoping for, in your opinion, next season, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this statement. I was watching Tobes earlier on, actually, just on his reaction to the news as well. Because obviously, this statement starts talking about youth and stuff, which makes me think, right, you ain't spending any money. The only way Spurs spend money is obviously if they get big money for Harry Kane. I agree with Errol in that respect. He's got to go now. I think Spurs are in a state of flux. I've said this to you before. I think the league now, they will struggle for Europe. Their time at challenging, top four for me is done. There needs to be major surgery just because of the emergence of Newcastle, Villa, etc. It's going to be tough for Spurs. Their squad's not great. Ange Postecoglou, a lot of Leeds United fans were banging the drum for him quite some time ago. I don't think any Spurs fans would have said at the end of the season that they'd end up with him in charge, but I think there is a lot of disrespect around him because obviously he's gone from the Australian League to the J League, and the Celtic fans were saying exactly the same things when he rocked up there, and he's just won the treble. And I get it's Scotland and all this sort of stuff, but is the type of manager they need, like a project manager, if you like. Obviously, he's a little bit older than they would have liked. I'm surprised they didn't try get, say, Thomas Frank, maybe. Someone like that. I mean, Arne Slot would have been perfect for them, but for whatever reason, he's stayed at Feyenoord. But look, I think he's a good manager, and I think he'll do well. It's just whether or not he's going to be given the tools, because the players that he's got, not a lot of them are going to be able to play the way he plays, right? I wouldn't imagine the likes of Dyer, etc. It needs a bit of surgery. So how do they do that? Well, they're probably going to have to move Kane on for me. I do think you might see, what's his face? Is it Jed Spence? Players like this, they might be given
Regulon coming back. Tobes was saying.
So you're forgetting one player from Udinese. He's had a fantastic season for them.
Doji,
and Dombele as well. And Dombele might come back into the fray as well under Postecoglou.
I didn't know this. Anguisse is coming back to Fulham. I didn't know he was a loanee. I don't know if he's actually
by the way.
And that's a great player, by the way. If you're looking for a DM,
unreal player.
His feet is like at Fulham, you're like, yeah, he's all right. But goes to Napoli, you're like, flipping, no, this guy can really play.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know if he got something worked out.
Nah, fair play, man. Fair play. Listen, Joe, just touch on Leeds very quickly because you're in a bit of a mess. Going into next season upstairs, I don't know what's happening. No manager. I'm looking at the odds, mate, and Gerrard is the favourite. What is going on?
He's not the man. That's just Sky Bet, man. He's not the man. No, Errol, hear me out. Wait. Now, I have said, I do believe with the type of character that Steven Gerrard is, and also with Gary McAllister in tow, obviously being a Leeds United legend, it maybe could work. But because of what happened at Villa, his reputation's in the toilet a little bit. Obviously, no, definitely not that guy. Never, ever. He's terrible. Look, the 49ers are ready to take over. That's going to be announced next week, right? That's done now. It's gone to the EFL for their fit and proper persons test, so that's done. We've got some. Listen, I'm not a basketball fan apart from when I was younger and there was Scottie Pippen and all that sort of stuff, and Michael Jordan. But Larry Nance, anyone know Larry Nance? Nah. Anyway, he's part of this consortium.
Larry Bird.
He's old school as well, right? But yeah, he's part of this consortium of 49ers enterprises. It's not actually the 49ers, it's a group of people that put into a fund and they're then gonna buy us. They're gonna take over. Apparently, they want Rodgers. Now, whether or not we can get Brendan Rodgers to drop down to the Championship, I'm not sure his ego will allow him. I keep saying to Leeds fans, as much as they want him, even if he doesn't start with a Premier League job, the first manager that clubs will go to if things get sticky, if he's not working, will be Brendan Rodgers. Crystal Palace, all these type of.
I feel like you
clubs.
should be going for someone like Ralph Hasenhuttl or something like that. I think he's definitely got some credentials in him to play some good football.
Well, shall I read
Red
out
Bull,
the top four that come? That top four here. Gerrard's. I don't know if these odds are right.
Nah,
these are the four that are kind. Steven Gerrard, favourite. They're saying Carlos Corberan, Brendan Rodgers, and Scott Parker. Mate, they're the four I'm looking at.
I'll take
Scott
Parker.
Parker's a bad shout.
I'd take Parker. I'd take
think
Parker.
I've heard that Parker's on his way to Leicester. I've heard that's done. And to be fair to Parker, he did get Bournemouth and he did get Fulham promoted, but every time in the Premier League, it's gone to pot for him, hasn't it? But yeah, I've heard he's going to Leicester.
For 20 odd years, or do you want to come straight back up? That's the question. I hear that.
But Brendan Rodgers, I think, he could be sold on the project. The 49ers come in. If we manage to keep hold of Adams, there's chat of that.
What do you mean by the
49ers? Well?
I don't understand what you mean. I know they're like a football club or something in America.
American football, isn't it? Yeah. 49ers Enterprises have already got a 44% stake in Leeds United. Radrazani's was going to sell us for 450 mil if we stayed in the Premier League. The reason this summer, the reason it's not done now is because obviously we got relegated. So I believe they've agreed on a fee of around about 170.
So wait, you've got new owners officially?
In about a week, yeah. In about a week, yeah.
But this is buzzing.
Yeah, I am, Cass. This has been in the offing for a while. I tell you what tipped it over the line. Basically, Radrazani went and bought Sampdoria the other week. Serie B went and bought them, and they've got like 190 million pounds worth of debt.
So
he tried to leverage Ellen Road. So basically, he went and got a loan from Italy and tried to put the ground up. And the Athletic broke the scoop, and obviously it was met with like everyone kicking off. But I think that's sort of like strong. I guess put the ball in 49ers court, so they're going to buy the club, and then we'll see what happens. They've got money though.
So I know they got money. Their worth is roughly about $4 billion or something like that. You've definitely got some money in the bank. Are there talks of like you getting a new stadium or upgrades in your stadium?
Upgrade, yeah. That was always the plan.
Your stadium seats are so uncomfortable. It reminds me of my own stadium of Old Trafford. It's like, what's going on here? Like, but you still got the old seats at the back as well, and you're thinking,
yeah, bro, over in one of the corners, man, there's still wood seats.
That's the wooden seats. And it's like, mate, that shouldn't be on, innit? That's bad.
I know, but
it's like Goodison Park. It's exactly kind of the same-ish. Obviously not the same, but.
The 49ers from like a commercial standpoint and all that sort of stuff, the match day experience are like right up there when it comes to that sort of stuff. And that was their plan, to come in, extend the stadium, etc. But the current ownership and Victor Orta got it so wrong after a 9th place finish that we find ourselves in the bloody championship. You know what I mean? So
you reckon you'll come back up?
Yes, I do. I
hope you do, but
I know you don't. I know you don't, man. But it is what
I remember. Yeah,
I hope you do, man. I like Ellen Road. I love going there.
You White Rose, mate.
While we're on the subject of Leeds, there's a question in the chat from Shreyas for Joe. Question to Joe: was Calvin always this slow and static player for Leeds? Because he's not agile as City fans like. He has a decent pass on him, but gets caught out a lot of the time. You mentioned him earlier, Joe. Calvin.
Yeah, listen, give the guy time, right? Everyone was I'm laughing now because Errol was laughing earlier, but everyone was calling Jack Grealish a flop, right? And look at him this season, right? All I'm saying, just give look at Rodri. Rodri was playing second fiddle to Fernandinho. Now look at him. I'm not saying Calvin's going to be anywhere close to that, but there is a player in there 100%. Now, of course.
I wanted him at Man United.
Yeah, exactly. But it'd never moved there. It'd have never moved there. And I think if it doesn't work out for him at City for whatever reason, there's issues with his weight. You know, he's had injuries. I think any time, any player I've found under Bielsa, a lot of them do struggle long term. Bamford's been the same, you know, because it is really, really difficult training regime, and maybe he's paying the price for that. But you know, before Bielsa came in, Leeds fans would have sold him. You know, Leeds fans.
What sort of a player is he? What type of a player is he?
Well, mate, this is the thing. When Bielsa came in, right, the season before, he'd been playing in the 10. He'd been playing in the 10 and was scoring a few goals. Genuinely, he was playing the furthest forward. And then Bielsa came in and went round. He didn't know the names, and he just went, "You're the 6." And he was like, "What, me? Eh?" Do you know what I mean? But this is what Bielsa can do. So for me, he's passing as well. He's unreal. So he just needs to get up to speed with what Pep needs him to do, to have that space and be able to play a ball into the channel. We'll see in it. We'll see. Give him time is what I will.
He's definitely a playmaker. Like, but he just needs runners in and around him. I don't think he's going to succeed at City. He's just going to be bench fiddle anyways. Rodri never gets injured, plays every game. It doesn't even matter, man. He's probably going to move on after next year.
You know what though? Like Newcastle, he could go in at Newcastle. He could go in at Villa. Villa have always been a massive fan of him. Even like you said, Man United, I don't see him ever making that move. But there is still time for Calvin, man.
Yeah.
At one point, 100. I rated him over Rice, and so the Euros. Remember, Rice was in there with Felix. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. And I saw Mason Mount in front. I said, "This is disgusting." I didn't want to see that, and I thought Rice was not suited to what Phillips, the way I wanted to see football being played. But now you look at it, you think Rice is definitely the better player, especially if you want to put him in a DM role or centre mid or wherever you want to put for Phillips.
Yeah, right. Rice is class, man. Like I rate Phillips. Don't get me wrong. I really liked him, and I saw him, and I was on a stream, a show. We're going back 3, maybe 4 years now, with a lad from Leeds. And he said to me, "There's 2 players that are going to be England's squad," and I was like, here we go. Like Leeds getting excited. Fellow in a championship. He was in the championship side. We had you in the FA Cup, Joe. This is how long ago it was. About 3-3. And he went, Calvin Phillips and Ben White. I was like, I never heard of either of them yet. Okay, yeah. And I just amused him, and I just went off, and I thought, I'm going to look at these 2 lads now. And I thought, fair play. He's got a point.
Bro, there's clips. Bro, are you sure that there's clips of me when because obviously Sky Sports heavily involved with EFL, right? They did like a Player of the Year thing, and I was on it. And there's a clip of me saying that exact same thing, that them 2 will go play for England, and they did.
Well, there you go, mate. Maybe it was someone who looked like you then.
Maybe it was me, mate. You just didn't remember.
Who's it definitely weren't you, because I know the guy's name. It definitely weren't you. But this one's for Kaz. A couple actually from Anthony Alma says, Kaz, we win number 10 next season. Only 10 behind you.
Who's that? Is he a City fan?
Oh, he's City fan. Okay, calm.
Altogether, I think City won. City won how many Premier League titles now? 8.
No, it's not Premier League titles, is it? They've won.
No, they won 2. They won 2 first division titles.
So they've got 10. So they've got 8 of they.
Do you know what they are going to do, though?
They got 9.
They're going to do the treble. Yes. And that 99 BS stuff's gone then. Do you know what I mean? Like, gone.
Why is it gone?
I'm so happy, man.
Why is it gone? They play any way they did against us, against Inter Milan, they're getting punished.
No, man. They'll
Inter Milan have got killers. Then you got to remember, they still got Brozovic, Barella. They still got some decent stuff.
I said this one.
Do you genuinely think that Inter will beat them?
I think they can definitely beat them. I think if there's any, I don't think they will. They did more of like a 70-30 chance. I see in the Champions League final, right? Anything happens. Why in the FA Cup they playing like that? They were poor. They were very poor. And I know Pep Guardiola,
right?
If you look at that as an Inter Milan player, you're thinking, what's going on here?
I think I've always said this Inter one's the hardest one. Not because of who they're playing, not because it's because of what it is. Like for me, this is the one that they are going to be shitting themselves about. This is the one, man. They're not going to be. And no offense, Kaz, they would have been going into that going, yeah, Manchester Derby, we got these. We got these. We've done it before. We've won FA Cups. We've done League Cups. We've done Premier League titles. We ain't done this yet. This is going to be the one. There's so much pressure on them for this one. And I kind of hoping they don't do it, if I'm honest, but just because of how it's panned out.
They've been impressive. They've been impressive this year.
They have been, man. They have been. This last one, man, is a good one. Question for Dan on the panel. If Alvarez wins the treble and the World Cup and the Super Cup, how good is he? Ballon d'Or, man. He's got to be any if he wins everything that he's winning. It's mad, isn't it? Imagine being Julio Alvarez doing a treble and doing a World Cup in the same year. That is absolutely
and the Champions League and the FA Cup. All he's got to left is the Super Cup and then literally a Carabao Cup. And I think he's done with football, he's pretty much completed it.
He might as well just retire.
Yeah.
He's done it all. Like that is mad, isn't it? To do that in that amount of time, which he probably will do because they probably can't do it.
The thing is, he hasn't been a passenger. He was involved in every single competition.
Yeah, he has. He's a quality player, man, as well. Top player. Who do you think will get Ballon d'Or, by the way?
It's between Haaland and Messi, innit?
You gotta give it to
I
Haaland,
think-
innit?
I think it will be Messi, you know.
I think because Haaland didn't go to World Cup, I think if Haaland would have just went to the World Cup, I think if he just went and scored a couple goals, there's a chance.
You can't base it just off the World Cup though, because if
I'm not saying
the
best
best player in the World Cup was Mbappe, if we're being honest.
But the fact of the matter is, he wasn't there to represent at all. He wasn't there.
Yeah,
to
no,
represent
but
at all,
I just don't. It should not be Messi. If you look at the best player in the world, I don't look at Messi and think, yeah, you know what, you're the best player in the world. I look at it like it's usually based around Champions League. It's got to be a Man City player. If they won the Premier League, they might win the Champions League. They just won another trophy as well, obviously on the weekend. And then, yeah, man, it's got to go.
I think
Haaland.
I think it will be Messi, but I think it should be Haaland. But Messi, the way that it's just the story around it, like it's not like it's got to be Messi because he deserves it. It's just the way it's all happened.
Gundogan's unplayable. This shit.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad, isn't it? Not to.
I heard a crazy shout yesterday though on the Big Six. I don't know if you see that Gundogan was up there with.
Was this Hugh?
Hughie said Gundogan was as good as Lampard, Gerrard, and Scholes. He's in that conversation.
Well, Lampard, I can hear the shout.
I love
for that.
Hugh, but wow,
man.
I can hear the shout for Lampard.
He's not up there with them three for me. But listen, top player.
Yeah. Like, Lampard's even a midfielder, man. The guy's a second striker, man.
He is clutch.
He is that.
The Ballon d'Or is for, I don't know how old you lads are, but from my age, the Ballon d'Or has just been a Messi Ronaldo festival, season in, season out.
Yeah, it has.
Very few people that can come and really crash it on them too. Lewandowski got robbed of one. I know that he eventually gave Benzema his flowers. I still believe fucking Luis Suarez could have had one for a couple of seasons. And
that Norwich season, 2013, that one, or the one in...
the one for Barca. His first two seasons at Barca, I think he could have probably had one. But he's obviously still playing underneath Messi.
I don't know how Modric got one, to be honest.
Modric has got, like, it's very few people have been able to crash it. So, and again, when you think about when Modric crashed it, was that because there was the Champions League and the World Cup in that season?
Euros.
Or was it the Euros? Sorry, was that when he won it?
Was it not the Euros?
He got to the World Cup final, didn't he? He got to the final, and then he got to the Euros, and then
he won it. He won it in 2020. No,
Modric was 2018, Messi 19.
In that long? Oh my God,
it would have been the World Cup then.
Benzema 22. It was World Cup for Modric because he won the Champions League and World Cup.
Does anyone remember what they did through COVID? Because honestly, I'm thinking, like, you said 20. I'm like, wait, what happened between 19, 20, 21? Like, is my head gone?
Well, Lewandowski got robbed of one.
Jorginho, where is that when Jorginho came third?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was Euros. Yeah.
You know, a mad stat. I'm just looking at the list here, right?
Those
Obviously,
international competitions not going to put you head and shoulders above your domestics.
Obviously, Benzema, we just spoke about, and Modric in 2018. You have to go back to 2007 for Kaká. The rest of it's Ronaldo and Messi every single year.
I remember that.
It's just absolutely
Michael
mad.
Owen won it as well, right? Michael
Owen 2001.
2001 or something. Yeah, mad.
But like, I mean, it's mad. Like Thierry Henry as well as another shout who like 100% should have at least. For me, I'm gonna say that because I'm biased, but
no, it was unreal though.
So yeah, man, it's crazy.
He's going to PSG as coach, I think, isn't he?
Is that right?
Henry with Nagelsmann, apparently. That's what I read.
Apparently, he said he doesn't want to give up his punditry roles, and if he's going to give it up, it's going to have to be for a head coach role only.
I see what he's doing there. I wouldn't want to give up his seat on the punditry desk either. He's sitting pretty right now.
Great, man.
It must be so fun to be on that panel, though. You're having the time of your life.
That is the best. I
just don't understand. I know Michael Richards. It was on Filthy Feathers, and he was explaining the difference between America and English. Like, it's different in England. This and I'm like, but I'm thinking, like, no one's like that no more. Like the people that are 60 and over, we're not trying to accommodate for them anymore. I'm not being funny. Times have changed. Like, I need that in England because that's what's fun. And it's not always about this serious. I don't want to see Graham Souness no more. Obviously, he's bugging off finally. I don't. That's why Alan Hansen left years ago. I don't want to see none of these guys. The only one that's a bit upset is just Sterling. But that's it's just like I want. It needs a refreshment. It's boring. I hear Jamie Carragher on CBS, and you hear Jamie Carragher on Sky Sports. You're thinking, oh, go away, man. Where's that Jamie Carragher that I was listening to? That's having it out large on a deli or flipping what's it called in America? Like it's just. Andy, like, bring back the Andy Grays and stuff.
I think Sky have got it right. Like Roy Keane for me is class. Like he just says how it is, doesn't care who he offends. It's brilliant. Love
Did you
people
see
like
the
that.
thing for the quiz with the Manchester Derby
Brilliant.
about the yellow
Brilliant.
card? And he turned round to Thingy, didn't he? And went, "Oh, I make the jokes round here, Jill." It was class, man.
He's a legend. He is a legend.
Yeah,
He is a
he's
brilliant
funny.
pundit for me. He just says that is
Yeah.
Gary Neville and Carragher good together because of the
Yeah.
bants. Michael
Yeah.
Richards is quality because of his bants with Roy Keane. Like for me, when Jamie Carragher Jamie Redknapp come on the scene, it was like quite refreshing years ago. I feel like he's been eaten up now by the others. If I'm honest with you.
It's boring with all these flipping. He can't even smile. That geezer can't even smile anymore. He's had so much work done to his face. That's why they call him flipping Leatherface. You know what I mean?
When you're dying for Tottenham to win a trophy, mate, that's what happens, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what you look like. But listen, it's.
You know who's the worst is Jermaine Genius. I know he does the BT, but he burns my head out.
I know it sounds mad.
He gets highly rated, and I'm not so sure he's
I just don't feel it, man. He's just dry.
No, it's a Danny Murphy's that needs to go, man. Danny Murphy's.
Ali McCoist is the one. Ali McCoist.
It's about Genius though. He critiques.
Ali McCoist, yeah.
He critiques players as if he was a world beater himself. That's what pisses me off about Genius. Genius was a bang average international. There's nothing special about him, but the way he critiques players, it's like he was a Ballon d'Or nominee himself. It's a madness.
A lot of them do my head. A lot of them do my head in, man. And you know what? I don't know what Sky Sports are thinking about getting these TikTokers to come on and all this kind of stuff. And that Forms guy, what a joke, man.
You've got a crazy one singing songs on there.
Even a heady one, like doing the little bits. I'm like thinking, I hear the direction, but it's cringy, mate. Like you're forcing it now. No young people want to watch Sky Sports as much anymore. I find.
No, this is fair ones, man. Fair ones. Listen, people. There's not enough likes on him, man. There's like over 500 of you, and we're just not even hit 200. Come on, man. Only ask for 50%. Let's make sure we get that up to 250, please. Let's sort that out. Joe, big up yourself, my friend. What you got coming up, man?
Just tracking this ownership, this change of ownership, like I say. So next few days, hopefully that'll come, and then we're 36 days away from playing Man United in Oslo, aren't we? We're playing Man United in pre-season, so that's all we've got to look forward to now is little pre-season friendlies against Man United. Do you know what I mean?
Biggest game in your club history right now.
Yeah, of course, yeah, man. 46, and then we've got 46 games in the Championship. We're going to do a Burnley, and absolutely dick it and come back up, and then be ready to go again.
Let's see, man. I love the optimism, man. Love the optimism. I hope you do it. I like Leeds, you know I do. I've got time for you, so let's hope you do it.
Man, we're all for the Borough. I love Borough, man. The Stockton lot.
Because of Carrick?
Of course. Come on, man. And Ipswich as well. We're all for Ipswich as well.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've always liked Ipswich because they're fairly local to me because I'm an Essex boy, so they're not too far from me. So, and he's done well, McKenna. He's done really well, man. Really well. So let's see. Errol, likewise, man. Always a pleasure having you on, man. What you got coming up, bruv?
Now, I'm going to go down to the Big Smoke on the weekend. Do a little link with a couple of the lads.
Come see you, man.
Yeah, man. But outside of that, I'll probably have a break from the Red Men for the summer. I might pop on the occasional show as things kind of hot up around transfers, announcements.
Nice.
Probably catch me on Grizz, Grizz TV or Carnage, quite a bit over the summer as well to just kind of plug away and plug the gap. But yeah, at the minute, we're playing footy. We're in an international tournament. So if you haven't peeped that already, go check out the World in One City. That's where I'm getting international minutes for Jamaica. So So it basically the organizers basically put it together for Liverpool. And what we're able to do is if your family came from a certain heritage, whether that's Ghana, Jamaica, Nigeria, England, Scotland, wherever, Ireland, you could get the opportunity to put a team together and represent your country. So all the teams this year, it's a World Cup format. There had to be qualifiers and everything. Teams this year have got proper kits and strips with sponsors on it and everything.
Is anyone streaming it at all? Or is there going to be?
There's footage. There is footage, but I don't. They've got one of those what's those cameras on the side of the pitch, like the bird's eye view ones, but it's not being live streamed, so you just get little clips of it. Yeah.
No, it's that new one that you can put over your face, isn't it? Have you seen that new one
from Apple? But when I say there's enough footage out there, so go and find the World in One City, amateur football. And it's just a vibe. You see the crowd. When I tell you the Somali team, they bring out the whole community. The whole community turns up. You've got flares. They're going sick on the sidelines. It is just because there's not like a proper football fix, that is a proper vibe. Let me tell you, man. I swear.
Class, man. Make
Like
sure you
a
head over to Errol and follow him on socials, man. Solitaire Sad Up. Kaz, thanks for coming on, bro. Always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. What you got coming on Never a Foul podcast?
In about 15 minutes, just gonna probably just have an opinionated argument or opinionated debate over like the recent news, really, of like transfers. A bit like now, but more everyone knows what's going on. It's just thinking like, why? It's just all opinions in about 15 minutes. When this stream's finished, it will go over there. So if no one knows the channel, me, Daps, and Mo, be talking on it. And also the Kevin Campbell point was that he mentioned on the Gal's channel saying along the lines of getting someone like Lukaku maybe on a cheap, different type of profile. I thought that was quite interesting, to be fair. Or wait till Ivan Toney.
It was mentioned on Arsenal Vision and by a couple of people today that I spoke to about Lukaku. Not for me, I never have been that guy, but a different profile striker, yes, is something I do want. So watch this space, man. Big up Kev as well, man. Always a pleasure speaking to Kev. Stay.
Jamaica, by the way, just let Max know. Favorite to Jamaica. We're top of the group after the first game.
Favorites are Jamaica. There you go, Max. Wicked. Make sure you stay tuned here. You're going to be heading over to Never a Foul because it will direct you over there. If you do want to come see me at 9 o'clock, I will be over on Grizz Khan's channel on Carnage doing a team of the season, only selecting one player from each club. Very difficult. Trust me, very, very difficult. I've put my team in. Let's see what wins.
Put Alisson in goal.
I have. He's my goalkeeper. He's my goalkeeper. Listen, big up yourselves. Make sure you smash a like button, please, on the way out. Make sure you subscribe on our way to 10K, which will be our next target. So thank you very much for that, guys. Always a pleasure having you all with us. Big up Errol, big up Kaz, big up Joe. We will see you next time. Take care and up the Arsenal. Latest, people.